Hello and welcome back once more to Tiny Zoo. I do hope you're well today. Thank you very much for watching. If you remember, this zoo is all about detail. It's all about building in a small area, quite compact, making every inch count. So that's what we're aiming for, and I think we're doing pretty well so far. In the last episode I did my jaguar enclosure in here, and it was fine. It came out okay. It was certainly not spectacular, certainly not the best thing I've ever built. It was pretty straightforward, but it did what I needed it to do. Since then I have just made a couple of changes, so let me point those out before we move on to our new project for today. One of them was along here. So you had this raised platform that comes up, and it occurred to me that going straight from the platform to the bars wouldn't really work, because you wouldn't want people to be able to actually put their hands through the bars. So I moved the platform back just a little bit there, so there was a gap, and just continued some fencing along here, some nice solid fencing, just to try and encourage people not to lean over and put their fingers through here where the jaguars could eat them. We certainly wouldn't want that, would we? So that's one little thing I did there. And then I had the area over the other side here, which I wanted to do a bit of work on. And so that's what I've done. Firstly, I've put a couple of these lovely big, what are these, ghost gum trees, is it? Yeah, ghost gum trees. I love these. I think they look absolutely amazing. So I just put a little flower bed in there because I had a gap and I didn't really know what else to put in here. So just a simple little flower bed there. And then I thought, this is something I've actually never used before, is these exhibits. I'm not really keen on them, to be honest. I just don't like the way they work. They're too static, they're too similar, too square. I think it'd be great if we could produce much better looking habitats for these smaller animals. I like the animals. I love the idea of having things like these snakes and the lizards and the terrapins and, you know, frogs, spiders, all that sort of thing. I love the idea of having them. I just wish we could be more creative with the habitats. But anyway, I had a gap down this side, and it wasn't big enough for a normal habitat, so I decided to put some of these in, and I did these custom surrounds here for the cubes, which I think they look okay. I've individualized them a bit. The main framework is the same, sort of just copied and pasted, but then things like the ivy and the plants on the top are slightly different, and I think it works okay. You know, they look decent. Got some not habitat, what am I talking about, education boards just in between here. Again, I had sort of a gap there, and I didn't really have anything else to put in there. And I realised I hadn't really got any of these education boards anywhere, so I thought a few of them in there would look good. And then down this side again, I had a strip of land here, so I decided to put some hedging and just a variety of trees down here, again just to make sure people couldn't get up tight to the habitat edge there. I think that looks quite nice, just, you know, with these different trees, just continuing that sense that it's quite overgrown, and there's you know, not a lot of open spaces, which is what we're going for. So yeah, so just a couple of little changes that I've made there. Now let's get talking about today, shall we? So let's go right over to the other side of the zoo, past the penguins. Let's go down this way, past our goats that are still chilling out on their rocks, past our little tapirs that are having a swim. Up here we've got our aardvarks. Don't know what they're doing at the moment. Can't even see them. Oh, there they are, just chilling out. Nice. And then up these nice fake steps to our tortoises. Oh, look at that, a couple of our tortoises are having a little sunning session under their tanning lamp in there. That's nice. So this is where we are going to be working today. So this is the raised area that I've started, and I am going to put in here a small flamingo pond. That's my idea. I quite like the idea of having another bit of water up here. So that's what we're going to do today. So without any further delay, let me go away and do a bit of work, and then I'll come back and update you as I go. Right, just a small update then. As you can see, this is the sort of size that I had in mind. So I've shaped the land a bit around the outside, and that is as big as the pond is going to be, which is going to be absolutely plenty. I've been in flamingo enclosures that are much smaller than this, so I'm more than happy with that. I should be able to get, I'll probably have 6, 8, maybe even 10 flamingos in here. The barrier is in at the moment, just roughly shaped like that, but it's all going to be, I'm going to do a custom surround for that. And I have just put in this pathway along here as well. So I've decided not to continue with this stuff because it does look good, but it gets quite tricky if you want to do this around corners, or if you want it to be wider because you've got the wooden beams on each side. So it's fine for a strip like that, but along here I've gone with this stone. So you've done a double layer of that along here, and then just linked it up with this. This is the back side of the penguins down here. So you can see I've just continued this pathway along here. These steps I've made using these slabs, just individual building pieces, and just copied and pasted them down. So again, it's a fake staircase, but the land was, as you can see, they kind of walk through it when they go up there, but that's fine. So there is a proper path running underneath all of this. But the stairs themselves are slightly off, particularly this top one is a bit shallow, but that's because of the shape of the land underneath. It just didn't, I don't know why, I couldn't even it out. If I moved it, you can see the land underneath. So anyway, that it is what it is. And then I just had a bit of a gap here with the land. You can see the land spills over, but I kind of liked the look of the land spilling over onto the stairs here, so I just decorated it with a little shrubbery there, and eventually there'll be some more habitat beside it here, and so this will just become part of that. And then down here again, quite a big gap here, so I wanted these tree planters back here. Again, I just love doing this, putting these trees in and filling all these spaces up. Unfortunately, the path underneath this path is right over here, and so the people do clip through these tree borders, but that's absolutely fine. It's the look that I'm going for, not really the practicality. So there we go. Right, so let me go and crack on. Not sure if I might work on the barrier, I think, to see what I can come up with, and then I will be right back. Okay, I've been busy. I have done a fair bit to the barrier, and a bit of the landscaping inside as well. As you can see, our flamingos are in. 10 of them, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, 12 of them actually I've gone with. I thought that looks like a good number. It looks like a good sized flock, doesn't it? So what have I done? I've got this pathway around the outside, so that's around the entire enclosure, and then I'm going to have a pathway leading off down here as well. And I've done the barrier, and I think this looks great. Now this piece is not a custom piece. It's one of the New World shop canopy pieces, and all I've done is just flip it on its back and stuck it in the ground and made it into a fence instead. And I think that looks really nice actually. I even like these supports. It just makes it look like it's been strengthened, and I think that makes a really nice barrier actually all around this pond. So very pleased with how that came out. That was just pure luck. I was just flicking through the construction options and seeing what pieces I found, and when I actually clicked on that, it didn't really occur to me at the time how I was going to use it. But when you go into here, and if you put in canopy and you click on it, it comes out like that if it's being aligned to a surface. And so I did that, and immediately I just thought, oh hello, if I sink that in, boom, we got a fence. So that's what I did, and I had a look at some of the other ones, but as you can see, none of them really worked as fencing. I suppose that one potentially you could sink it like that. I think this one as well potentially if you sunk it in a bit like that. So there are options there, but yeah, I'm really pleased with how that turned out. Just a couple of posts by the door here just to fill the gaps in. And I've gone with willow trees because these willows look great, especially around a pond, and they suit the look of the area. And I've just done my usual shrubbery scattered around the outside, a bit in the middle here as well. You know, again, just keeping it random, keeping it looking very natural. No real pattern to it at all. I just select them and plonk them down where I think it looks nice, and then, you know, move stuff around as and when I need to. And that seems to generate a nice effect of sort of a natural habitat. Not a lot of planning goes into it, I'll be honest. So yeah, that's where we are up to at the moment. I'm going to do some sort of rock formation, I think, around this front area here. So that's still to do, and obviously I need to get some enrichment items in. I think they've got a feeding thing, haven't they? They've got a large feeder thing, which I think might be able to fit back in here somewhere. I think that's probably the only spot I'm going to have, because I don't want it right by the door here. So that'll probably have to come in back there. I may do something in the water. I may not, or I may come back to that at a later date. It depends how it looks once I've done the rest of this. I will also do some backstage here. I think I want some facility buildings here, at least a keeper's hut, if not possibly a staff room as well. And I will probably do a wall around the outside of this walkway as well, especially it's going to be needed here, I think, to stop people from rolling down the hill. So yeah, so some sort of custom wall possibly all the way around the outside there. We shall see. Let me head off now and come back once I've done a bit more. Happy flamingos, that's what we like to see. Yes, so I've done what I have said. So I have done some rock formations just around the front here and here. I didn't want to do anything too big, too in your face. I certainly didn't want to block the view, so when you're over here looking in, I didn't want anything that's really going to stop you seeing into the enclosure. But I also wanted the flamingos to actually be able to get up on the rocks on both sides here, so they can walk along here, and they can come up onto this flat piece here as well. So I think that looks really nice. I've made the water a bit murky. I didn't want it to be clear water. Frankly, it wouldn't be with these guys, because two reasons. One, they tend to make a lot of mess in the water, but two, because of the way they feed, as you can see up here at the moment. As you can see, I put the feeding thing up here. Just put a little bit of rock around the front here. But yes, the way that these animals feed, they like the shallow water. They like it to be dirty, and they kind of sift through, like you can see them doing there. They sift through the silt and the sand or whatever is on the bottom of the water, and obviously that churns the mud up, and it makes the water dirty. And so you really wouldn't have pristine clear water in a flamingo habitat. So that's why I've made it so you can't actually see through it. Look at that, if you go right inside, you still can't see. It's probably too deep, actually, to be honest. They could probably do with some shallow, some more shallow areas. In fact, I may even do that if I remember. Maybe try and raise the level up a bit around here. Yeah, make a sort of a wading area for them. Would be quite nice. Don't know. Yeah, obviously a bit of enrichment here and there. So they got one of these funky little things. I don't really get what these things are meant to do. I mean, they're entertainment. I get it, but I don't think you would ever see anything like this in an enclosure in a zoo. I really don't. I might be wrong, but certainly in England, I have never seen anything like this in this kind of a habitat. So I don't know what it's meant for, really. Got one of their little what are these? I always forget. Oh yeah, the scent markers again down there, and one of these lovely waterfall pieces. I quite like this. Obviously just sunk it right down into the water, and the flamingos can come and swim underneath the water. Pretty simple. I didn't want to overdo the enrichment in here, but I think that's just about enough to keep everyone happy. Right, so I still need to do my backstage bit here, and I still want to do a bit of a custom wall, I think, around the outside. Oh, excuse me, my voice is disappearing. Yeah, so let me go and crack on with that now, and I'll be back to show you the results. And here we are. I have finished the habitat. So what have I been up to? As you can see, I've put in a small building here. In the end, I have just gone with a keeper hut in here. I'll put a fake door there as well to give the impression that there's something else in there. It's a very simple building, just a simple brick asphalt roof. I built a little a wooden canopy here, which I thought looked quite quaint. So yeah, kind of like that. You know, a bit of custom fencing along the side here. Gravel pathway I thought looked nice under there, and obviously just finished off with some shrubbery, bit of rock and shrubs on the side here. And then this is I'm really happy with how this has turned out. So this is my custom wall around the outside here, and this is just a small piece that I made up, so 19 objects in here. So it's the faux rocks turned on this side. It's then got some of these small square pieces, you know, the what are they called? Let me show you. These ones here, these pieces here, the planted wooden panel. So it's some of them on this side just sunk in and moved into place, and then obviously that's copied on the back as well, and then just some soil in the top. And I've gone with the these nettles. I didn't want lots of colour, so I thought the nettles worked quite nicely. And then I just copied and pasted that all around the outside. I think it's a really nice looking wall actually. It's just, again, it's one more way of using these rock pieces. They really are a very diverse piece. You can use them for so many different things. Obviously it doesn't look great all the way along the outside here, but there will be probably shrubs around the outside eventually once I start developing more out here. So I'm not too fussed about the outside at the moment. And then you've got a pathway that I've put in coming down here. Again, I will finish off the detailing here because it's clearly, you can see it's not finished, but that will happen when I start building further down here. And then this continues all the way around here, and eventually we come back here. Now this isn't ideal here because you've got a bit of a step, because obviously you've got the fake path here with the wooden beam down the side. It's not great, but you know, I accept it for what it is. It's you know, it is what it is. And to be fair, you may have a small step there in real life because this is a gravel path and you wouldn't want the gravel all getting kicked over this path. So actually a small step is not unreasonable. So I'm not going to kill myself for having to do that. And there we are. So, ooh, excuse me, disappearing inside the roof there. That is our flamingo habitat. What do you think? I like it. I'm still trying to keep everything small and compact and not get too carried away. But it's hard. This sort of enclosure is a very different sort of enclosure to the ones that I've been doing so far, because all of these are quite suited to being sort of you know, quite fixed shapes, you know, oblong, square, whatever. Whereas something like this, it's meant to be a natural looking area, so very hard for it to look like an artificial area. And if I did do that, which I could, but I don't think it would look good, and it wouldn't be good for the animals either. I don't think the animals would like being in a big, you know, concrete box with a fake pond at one end, you know. So it is what it is, and I think it's turned out really nice actually. I'm very pleased with that. Not sure what I'll be doing next, but I may be continuing, I think, here. I've got a bit of an idea of what I might put in here, utilising the change in terrain here. I think it could be quite interesting. So that may be my next project, we shall see. But for now, that is our flamingos. So please let me know what you think. Thank you very much for watching today. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.